going to get into that.
No, I said
thought
it
I was bad at
confidently,
words, and then you mentioned maths, so that my confidence is just going through the ground right now.
All right, let's get into it. Map 1, District, eUnited, and RushieZ. They meet against each other once again in back-to-back weeks of Grand Finals Emergence days. This time, though, RushieZ is doing it with their official fill-in of Icy, and I mean, what a start this is. RushieZ loses one member, it's Avexys. But hey, RushieZ is happy with that result. They'll get the early points, and they'll also get the drop shot with Icy.
Good showing. It's not often you win the drop shot and, of course, the hill without losing many numbers in the process. Do it against eUnited, and boy, have you got a good series ahead of you, judging from that. Drop shot not going to connect, though, as DeTox just misses out on a kill with 3 knocking the door in front. Icy great down. Does roll back, though, to ensure he has everyone there to initiate the fight. Powerz as well is going to get a kill back, but he will get traded out. Demise and Dyslexic, the last ones alive, but quickly cleaned up themselves. And now eUnited, not a bad spawn for the next hill. I was about to say, they are poised to actually cut RushieZ off now from the first hill, so they can certainly very much get into this game quickly, just as RushieZ did. So let's see if they can actually hold this one down, though.
One thing that I like about RushieZ on District is their teamwork, and we consistently say that, but what do I mean by that? Well, District is very well known for having multiple crosses in multiple ways. If you set up right, you can team fire any enemy that is trying to pursue or get onto the hill. And RushieZ has ample opportunity to do that on a map such as District. But eUnited, though, to their credit, they also understand to battle against that, hey, I'm going to rotate a bit earlier on, and that's what they do. But it seems like RushieZ, despite the early rotation from eUnited, they're still making great headway.
They are. They're still keeping themselves in this. Icy, in fact, has been as much of an icebreaker as anyone. Just with his usual play style, right? Not just pinballing everywhere, but measured gameplay. And he did find some kills. Look at this, RushieZ ripping through eUnited right now with up A's and gives everywhere on our screen. Dyslexic will find Avexys, though, so there is still presence remaining in Juice. RushieZ won't be able to lock them out of the map. Dyslexic perhaps a little bit too ahead of himself there in chasing that one, but has got support just behind. 44 seconds left in this hill. They need to start thinking about whether they'll be continuing this offensive for this one. Maybe looking off to the next. Look how many are in green right now.
I know. eUnited, they want... I think more so right now, they want the kills. You know, they want the eliminations, and then they want whatever points that they can possibly get. And maybe even a bit of a start to something. You know, it doesn't feel good to be down 94-0 and to give that up and then have RushieZ over 100-0. New life has been shown, however, and TJ is that man. Such a critical kill to get rid of that front player from RushieZ who was trying to set up early on, and now eUnited is confidently set up defensively. I say confidently, RushieZ is on the outside. Ooh, hold up.
Wasn't that feisty?
That's really feisty. That's spicy indeed, man. Habanero pepper, baby. RushieZ pushes through and gets one. That shock, though, that shock could very well save the eUnited members, and it does.
DeTox trying to leverage that stun, but no, TJForce will not allow them to walk on through like that and save their teammates. Demise with the double. And yeah, eUnited can breathe some fresh air, I guess, as they wait for RushieZ to eventually start the offensive towards them. First little defense of the game and get some points to their scoreboard. Powerz, great movement. Not too much damage put his way. Will find DeTox to finish off that play as well, as RushieZ is surely going to get dropped too. eUnited continuing to stagger, but Powerz has to be careful with Avexys right behind him.
Avexys hitting the shot on Powerz. A little bit of a warning shot. Doubles back. TJ challenging through mid. I can't believe eUnited's actually allowing Avexys to stay alive. I was going to say regain his health, but Avexys never does. So he never feels comfortable being where he was, and he can never truly challenge into TJ or anybody for that matter from eUnited. He was simply too weak. Love it. eUnited, they're back in the running. They started off very sluggishly, but that Wolfpack in the P2 gave them that momentum that they needed, and also that early initial kill on the RushieZ member who was trying to set up for P3. Made all the difference in the world. eUnited, hell of a job.
Notice how stretched TJ was across the map there. He's like the opposite corner when his teammate is literally on the previous hill across the way on District. Powerz is in blue, and this is exactly what eUnited like doing. They like stretching themselves a little bit thin, relying on their individual skill as somewhat of a trade for spawn trapping. essentially, and staggering. And they've started to do that now against RushieZ. It's equalized or resulted in them getting the points advantage and Kane in the lead. TJ finding a kill on Avexys. RushieZ does change that in a heartbeat, though, as he also has a meat shield now back to the corner. As Dyslexic does go wide, a little bit of shots. Powerz wins his fight elsewhere. Or rather, he was the one crossing along with Demise. A drop shot on the back. I'm not sure if that's got any ammo, but definitely eUnited in the driving seat now, though, Taylor. Yeah, there is the drop shot. It's going to be pre-actived, and they know where RushieZ is coming from.
All right, RushieZ. See what you can do, Demise. It's not going to make it easy at all. Drop shot out, that's going to be 2. RushieZ has to regain. The only player who can truly challenge is DeTox, who is currently locked in bandstand. Can't get away. Demise going to close the gap to take him down. DeTox full red. Demise falls, but no worries. Dyslexic is there for the pickup. eUnited has successfully come back from P2 to P3, and now moving on to, I believe, P4, as we do see the rotation is currently in. RushieZ once again trying to set up early on. The pinch is in. TJ from one angle, the others from the other. But what, such a impactful down from DeTox, who comes off the respawn and immediately puts his Lancer to work. Was it enough?
Hugely so. TJ had to be close still to help his teammates and at least be a distraction, but that puts him in the running for a pinch right behind. eUnited, 2 players remaining at the front. Icy is now going to be the one pinch. He's going to be crossed. RushieZ is full red. Not a great opportunity for him, just the other side of that window. eUnited finally get that spawn on that side, and they're snappy for me right now. In a word, Taylor, they're quick in how they're moving across the map. Individually, their skill is actually showing against RushieZ of all teams, right? And they're really rotating well as a team, especially in these last 2 hills, and it's showing. That speed is what you need against RushieZ. That energy you need, you actually need if you're eUnited.
Energy indeed. You need energy to beat this eUnited roster. I don't care how bad they're playing or how off you think they are. eUnited is still eUnited, and you give them an inch, they're going to take a mile. And RushieZ is being very cognizant to not give them that leeway. Dyslexic down. Now RushieZ feel more confident than ever to secure the final 30 or so seconds. eUnited's a bit discombobulated on the map, you can tell just looking at it, and therefore I don't think they're going to challenge for the new hill. They'll take the drop shot happily, however, and TJ will go ahead and pick that up, put it on his back, just in case anything goes awry, but more importantly, he wants to save it for next, which is going to be coming up shortly.
For the same reasons, Ritual is a good map for eUnited. The reasons being the aggressive opportunities. Green and blue, i.e. Info and Juice, are just their home grounds, and I think that's where they default to at this point on those rotations, and it allows them to get the drop shot, but it's not worked out for them in this instance, particularly when RushieZ rotate all the way around the entire map to ensure they're together to not get caught out by those specific rooms. They have got the hill, finally. You can see right in the distance there that the short spawn is covered, and RushieZ are going to turn around to help Icy at the peak of the map now, so he does not get 1v2'd. Let's see.
Find out, right? Let's see what ends up taking place. Powerz, great off angle, as you said, but I don't think RushieZ and DeTox can both push out. No, DeTox has to... Yo, what an elimination from RushieZ. Like, that is big, because now he can double back, join DeTox, and focus at the task at hand, which is going to be Dyslexic and Demise in front. And to Player 3's credit, TJ, he tried everything in his power to get the cross, and he was landing shots, but it wasn't enough.
I mean, that play from RushieZ, I think, just earned them the rest of the points in this hill. That was huge. There was an angle coming through to add salt to the wound from Info. Dyslexic, great back A. A second one to come on through. Icy will be dropped. 25 seconds left in this hill. I don't think you should be rotating for this. I mean, the spawn as a result of Dyslexic's positioning is going to be on, from Powerz, is right on him. I should say another teammate, because Powerz is already here. But the point being, eUnited will actually be happy now with that spawn, given this next hill. RushieZ are taking their time right now to formulate what their direction is for a push on this one. And it is difficult. The drop shot's coming soon. They've got a huge width across district in front of eUnited right now. There's 3 on one side, and DeTox has found a kill actually elsewhere across the way, and that might give them the opportunity. A drop shot and 3v2 on the hill. They should go for it right now.
Oh! Oh! Powerz! What the hell was that, brother? I love it. I do. What? And the drop shot to boot? Yo, you want to talk about making plays. That was the play to make. We were discussing RushieZ and how good RushieZ was playing earlier, and that still stands. But that play from Powerz could very well just gave the momentum eUnited needed to not only come back in points, but win this entire thing.
What a drop that is, though. On the spot of RushieZ where he stands, finding the one. DeTox, full red, 40 seconds left on this hill. Demise does find it, and that's huge, as it gives eUnited some presence, some cover there, as the rest of the players do fire, and Powerz as well, finding Icy. But yeah, going back to it, Taylor, if you're going to take that long, RushieZ, to rotate all the way around and formulate such a, detailed plan to attack, you have to check your corners in the end, right? You have to make sure that you haven't used so much time in the prep phase that when it comes to executing, you're pushed for time, and you have to force yourself into situations like that and cutting corners. Powerz well in from him, and now they've got the score lead of eUnited.
Like I said, that play from Powerz might have very well put eUnited in victory lane, even if it's this early. I mean, 215 to 193. Powerz, just the eUnited in general, and RushieZ too. They're emotional teams, but they're momentum-based teams. And I mean, Jesus, that was incredible. RushieZ has to hold on tight to what they got. Look at 5. Look at 5 in player 3. What? I know we didn't even see that on the screen, but 5 was like in the corner ready to pounce, and player 3 TJ turned on RushieZ and killed him. And now TJ is on the flank to pinch the remaining RushieZ members, whether it was Powerz making big moves or TJ not getting blindsided by RushieZ, who loves hiding in the shadows. eUnited is doing everything right.
This is the eUnited factor, and it's coming to fruition right now, just when they need it on map number 1. Score lead, drop shot, a down in the center. Will TJ try and attempt that? He'll at least go for Avexys. He's just going to be damaged, but will ensure the kill is picked up at least. 35 seconds left in this hill, and as a result, the points will still be valuable to both these teams. They'll be pushing forward. TJ will find another 1v victory against RushieZ. Icy falling by the wayside too. DeTox should follow shortly thereafter. And there he is, cleaned up. eUnited, for quite a long time, it seems like, Taylor, have been dominating in the slaying space. And it's an issue for RushieZ in that eUnited are getting confident again. They're starting to really trust in their ability to make these pushes, because they were going for them anyway. This whole tournament, remember,
that's right.
They just weren't doing anything else on top of that in much the same way that we're used to. Their teamwork wasn't there, but now eUnited, they're pulling apart RushieZ, who are known exactly for their teamwork.
Yeah, I mean, eUnited is, we know individually, they're so incredibly skilled. The same thing can be said for RushieZ, without question. There's no discredit on their part. But, again, you give momentum to eUnited, and they turn into a different animal. It's kind of like KCP during a major. KCP, once they catch fire, it is so hard to extinguish them. And Powerz has not slowed down. In fact, can we get a stat check? Where's Powerz even sitting at? Powerz is 22-8, 17,000 damage done. He's got 10 OBJ kills, which is dwarfing anybody else. And what does that mean? He's inside the hill, picking up elimination. So every time RushieZ pushes him inside of a current hill, Powerz is most likely killing you and taking you down. eUnited is now 10 points away from victory. RushieZ, they've got a couple of stragglers who are close, but they're going to get a touch, but they got to meet the final boss, and that's going to be Powerz.
The jumping over the windows for both teams, that was so neck and neck between give distance for multiple people. Wow. Nervy times, and 4 points for eUnited to close this one up. And a drop shot in Demise's hands too. Do they take the time and just go for these last points, or TJ's actually lurking? Demise is right behind, Dyslexic is at the front. RushieZ are aware. eUnited are trying to wrap it up right here. At least these two players are.
Yep. Well, even keeping them distracted means you might be able to make a play on the opposite side of the map, right? And that's, I mean, even now, 2 points gets it down to 2 from 3 to 2. They won't get it on this hill. A great job from RushieZ's perspective to stop them. It kind of backfires, though, complimenting eUnited, and drop shot's also going to be whiffed. Now all Demise has is a shock. He's going to send it flying. It's not going to make an impact whatsoever. Right? I mean, dude, it's been a night of comebacks. I'm not calling RushieZ out yet. I can't do it. I cannot do it. Don't care if eUnited's 2 points away, Toby.
I mean, I'm feeling it. I am feeling it. If RushieZ are just going to turn around now after being slayed out for what seems like an eternity and win it here, then I would be not surprised at this point with what we've seen tonight. But what a performance it would be. Powerz secret man here in the corner. He knows there's just one target. Sneaking through, he at least gets the break. RushieZ have spotted him and angled him out a little bit. TJ trying to go through the front, finds Icy. DeTox gets the trade.
Goodness.
This is close. This is very close.
Oh, this is it. I mean, this is it. eUnited has to get these last 2 points or RushieZ wins it. Like, that's just the way it's going to be. Demise, great shots, great damage done, but unfortunately not going to get any finishes. RushieZ's forces, however, do dwindle. It is going to be a 2v2. And now RushieZ are within striking distance, less than 5 points away from victory. eUnited has to hop in. They have no other choice. It's going to end 298 and 298. Ooh. 2 points separate the two. RushieZ has real estate. So does eUnited. Couple of downs. TJ's going to be finished off. Dyslexic going to answer right back. However, who's going to get the last laugh? Dyslexic picking up Demise. Get to God, yo, RushieZ! 300 to 298. RushieZ wins map 1 by 2 points after coming back about 60 or 70 points. I am blown away.
How have they done that? I cannot believe it. And it's RushieZ of all teams. They keep doing this, Taylor. RushieZ Avexys 9 to 23. Icy 8 to 18. And the reason I'm pointing that out is because a clear sign of what went on for the majority of district there. eUnited just ran through from corner to corner, steam training and bouncing every kill in their way without a care in the world. And then suddenly when it comes to that last hill, it's just, right, eUnited are going to wrap this up. They're going to walk into the hill. Oh, 2 points in the last one. That's great. Now they got 2 points in the next hill, that a bandstand. And then RushieZ just come together again. And as soon as you hit that 200 mark these days with RushieZ, and actually a handful of teams, I will admit, especially in, say, Regency, for example, it just seems like it is anyone's game at that point. And that really personifies it there, even if you're eUnited and even if you're within 2 points, Taylor.
No, but you know where eUnited lost this. Like, think back, right? Think back to right before the final hill. What did eUnited do that I was complimenting in a way, challenging those final points, but what went wrong? I mean, you know, Toby.
Well, it's eUnited, isn't it, for you? This is it. They like to stretch themselves thin, and as a result, lay it all on individual skill. When you stretch yourselves thin at this level, what's going to happen? The team will respond opposite you. They'll either match you or just run or try and run away, right? And get back to their team and kind of call out the number situation. I mean, RushieZ, they handled it very well, didn't they? DeTox, the kills he picked up was excellent. And what did it mean? It meant RushieZ had the numbers advantage and the setup going into the next hill, when eUnited could have just simply rotated early and got there first. It's not complicated. This is it.
This is it. This is the moment I was talking about, Toby. This is the moment that broke eUnited. Absolutely. Demise in this spot, Demise, even before that, had the drop shot and he had the shock. He was by himself. He was facing a wall of RushieZ members. The only thing that he probably could have done better before he sent the drop shot flying was disengage, get away, and then come back in with his teammates once they were ready to go and use that drop shot and shock to help his boys penetrate the hill. That probably would have been the best play to make. But Demise in that moment, I believe, was rattled because, again, he's getting pressured by everybody on RushieZ. You're 2 points away, and you get tunnel vision. You get to the point where you're like, we're at 298. We're not losing this. We're 2 points away. There's no shot the other team comes back. And you get so hungry and desperate to get those final 2 points because it's really minuscule if you think about it. When you got to get to 300, you need 2 more. What's 2 more? That tunnel vision can sometimes blur what's happening around you. And in that case, I think it did for Demise. Does he make a bad play? Not necessarily. He makes the right play what he feels like is in that moment, but maybe disengaging would have been the better play to make. But even I'm saying that, Toby, after we see the replays, and I'm now thinking back on it and reflecting on it. I mean, think about it. In that moment for Demise to make a move like that, it seems almost impossible, Toby. That would have been the best play, but I don't even realize that until minutes after the game is done.
This is eUnited, and it's problematic for me at this point in time. When I go back and think of all the top teams that we've seen in Gears Esports, I cannot think of a single one that was so good individually, that did so many things in an unorthodox fashion and didn't play the odds just for the sake of that individual skill and still find success. You just don't have examples. Optic Gaming, as I've said, would dominate through slaying power for the most part and then leverage that to dominate through outplaying. the thing is, they didn't, you didn't see Explosive and Mental doing, extremely controversial plays on the last hill like that, and then lurking round and using a drop shot on a previous hill. No, they would rotate first. They would be there. They would outplay you. And this is the concern for me with eUnited, is that time and time again, it's so consistent now. They're making really controversial mistakes. And I say controversial because it is. We should not be seeing basic mistakes and miscalculations as to, should we go for this play? Should we spread ourselves too thin? As far as I'm concerned, generally the strategy of spreading yourself too thin, or rather thin across the map and relying on your skill, that's all good and well if you are truly the best in the game. And maybe the United are individually, but it's not to a margin where you can rely on that consistently and it not backfire. And absolutely, it backfired there. It might have worked for most of District, absolutely so, but not in the end. And against PK, that was really shown on broadcast for all to see. And I was absolutely having a field day, I guess, in the criticisms on that point. Just to wrap this one up, I think at the core of it is the IGL factor as well. Powerz saying just do what you want and run wild. That's a problem, I think, at this point in time. We just need that polish from eUnited so they can use that individual skill to topple over their enemies consistently.
I think eUnited's biggest downfall is actually one of their greatest strengths, and that's their ability to bully teams and outslay teams, And why is that a weakness if it's such a strength? Well, it's a strength because they can win fights. They can look incredible. Powerz, for example, did exactly that. But one thing that we always talk about at the top echelon of gameplay in all esports and all tiers and here in Gears is mechanically everybody is going to be relatively around the same skill level. There are going to be differences. There's going to be outliers. There's going to be those obviously who are at the bottom. That's just the way that it is. But for the most part, when you discuss like top 5 teams like eUnited and RushieZ, mechanically both are incredible. So you can't just rely on that. And sometimes eUnited relies so heavily on, I'm going to outslay you, I'm going to kill you, whatever I need to do. You're not going to set up. You're not going to have a chance to breathe. And eUnited does that well. But also, too, they can also overexpose themselves. And it really was, again, going back to it, it was that final, the second to final hill before we rotated over to Bandstand, making that last-ditch attempt to get the final 3 points, which, granted, they did get one, and they brought it down to 2 points, just 298 to around 248, 250. That final attempt, when they were wiped off, RushieZ then had a chance to set up definitively on the last hill, and then eUnited went into desperation mode. In desperation mode, I don't care how good you are, it's never going to be a good thing. So there it is. Big map win for RushieZ, and now we're heading into Tomb, which could very well go both ways. And RushieZ played this phenomenally well against Kansas City Pioneers earlier. They have already had success on Tomb today. So let's see if they can do it again, but this time against eUnited.
Yeah, I mean, RushieZ will be extremely happy with themselves after map number 1, and I hope that eUnited are not happy with themselves. I really do. There has to be a kick in the butt at some point which says, you know what? We've got a problem. We need to address it. And I want to use the word one-dimensional potentially at this point in time because it is that predictable and they aren't leaning into other avenues. Yeah, they might nail the base strats like other pro teams. They might do much the same base strats on much of these maps and modes, and they might be good at escalation over, say, the lower 6 teams. But that's kind of where it ends. You have teams like RushieZ, who has RushieZ going for the nades on most XE maps, and they're building different unorthodox strategies, and they're changing their strats up often. And it doesn't just involve all-out aggression or winning shotgun battles. And yeah, United have a good map pool as well when you look at it that way. You have Ritual and Aphira. But we can see why those 2 maps are good for them, Taylor. It's exactly the fact that it plays into their playstyle. There needs to be more, in my opinion, at this point in time. There's too many mistakes. It's too consistently predictable, one-dimensional. And I'm hoping that they can really, put a pin in that and make it a focus rather than just win shotgun fights, as that kind of seems to be the thing.
All right, well, let's get into it. Map number 2, regain season for eUnited. And I know they absolutely can, but DeTox starts off strong with first blood onto TJ. United looks to make a move onto DeTox, who, in conjunction with Icy, handles his business. Demise will fall, so will Dyslexic. We're looking like a potential team ace scenario. Powerz last alive 1v4. I don't think he clutches it, but my question is, how many does he take to the grave? There's one. This is possible. This is possible with RushieZ clumping up. Powerz had a chance, but still an impossible situation to be in, and it will, in fact, be a team ace from RushieZ's perspective.
RushieZ had a great warm-up for this map earlier against KCP. That cannot be denied. Now, eUnited, how are you feeling after that first map? I said, yeah, you know, definitely should be reflecting on it. But can you keep your head held high? Great Lancer onto IC there, getting caught out much the same way as we saw earlier on this map on broadcast. Dyslexic finds one. TJ runs across to find DeTox. That is nice from eUnited. Their slaying power certainly helped them that one.
Incredible performance and a well-made round for eUnited's perspective. They muscle their way through, but they make it happen, and all 4 members of RushieZ die. Therefore, it's another team ace. Team ace followed by team ace, just different teams obviously getting those. So now that we're tied up 1-1, who is going to win the next one? Who's going to take the lead once again in their favor? We've seen a lot of emphasis on the sniper play, as we typically do. The mid battle has been well underway. Powerz, though, fortunately, is going to die early on. That's a great elimination also from Avexys' perspective onto Dyslexic. Demise trying to be the hero that I know he can be. Unfortunately, that moment falls a bit flat. 17 seconds later, RushieZ, they regain the lead.
Back and forth we go, Taylor. My only worry is who's going to take the advantage by changing the strategy at some point, right? Who's going to say 1Vs are not going to be how we're going to play this game and take that round lead, I guess, over that back and forth system that we've built up so far from both teams. Let's see.
All right, well, let's find out, Toby. Shocks in mid. No one's going to be affected by it, and this is the first time we have seen a bit of a stalemate. Typically, the rounds have ended in just 20 or less seconds. This time, no blood has been shed, yet power weapons have already been picked up. Powerz himself. Oh, this is an opportunity for Dyslexic. RushieZ gets so lucky in that position, and now they can push up onto Demise, who's been hit with an absolute apartment complex. Still doesn't fall. Demise doesn't fall. In fact, he actually gets it down, and it's a 3v2. Make that a 2v1. Powerz last alive, but does he have sniper? Yes, he does.
This is massive. Huge round to differentiate yourself from your enemy, and Powerz with the snipe and the ability to clutch. Gonna get pinched any moment. He has to move fast or turn around and turn on his opponent. Full red.
Well done, DeTox.
Yeah, I was about to say, pulling away as soon as he can and wrapping himself around that concrete of the staircase, and it makes it as hard as possible for one of the best players in the game we've ever seen to clutch up in that situation. Well played indeed. Had to handle the sniper situation, of course, and Powerz, rightfully for him, he put it away as soon as he could. He tried to close the gap. He tried to find that 1v. This is great, though. I'm enjoying that, especially after the last round. Strats are coming into it. Oh! Getting caught out again on one of these teams with the Lancers.
Yeah, that's typical RushieZ, isn't it? Great teamwork, good team fire. Even the best of the best struggle with it at times. Powerz, though, is still back on his feet, and this round is very doable from eUnited's perspective. Demise is down, RushieZ gets the meat shield, and that puts, oh yeah, Dyslexic in a terrible position. TJ snipe out, misses DeTox, he's red. DeTox has a chance, he'll take it. And Powerz, who was the first guy dropped, is now the last guy left. No more teammates around him, and unfortunately, this time will come to a short end. 4-1 lead for RushieZ, and Toby, the scoreboard, gotta see it, because I believe RushieZ has a ton of players with just one death. And actually, yeah, DeTox, RushieZ, not a ton, but only 2. Avexys has died 4 rounds, but still, though, the stats don't lie. RushieZ, they're handling their business.
And it's the same way as usual in terms of their gameplay, the style they're doing it. Great Lancer. RushieZ is that concrete force over towards that turbo and handling even the individual skill of eUnited. And now it's 4-1. eUnited need to answer back.
All right, Icy, let's do it. Avexys, you've got him. RushieZ couldn't get to him in time, unfortunately. They're just going to have to cut their losses on that one. Avexys can't get away either. He'll get picked back up, though. This is a big shot from DeTox. Misses it. Now it's a 4v2. Every shot DeTox connects is going to put RushieZ in a better position, surely, but Icy, does he die here? Yes, he does, unfortunately. So now it's up to DeTox. He won't make it happen. It is going to be a 4-2. Good round for eUnited to get something going again.
You may notice what they did there, Taylor. They literally flew across the side of the midline of the map towards RushieZ end, of course, towards that Torpo side. And as a 3, they completely deathballed and crowded round certain targets. They changed it up in a way, away from that 1v1 situation. They don't want to have that. Even that mid-round transition is all the difference maker that you can need in the variety to be able to topple RushieZ.
All right. DeTox can't do it. It's going to be a big opening kill from TJ, but it's still a 3v3. Avexys have to play this very carefully, and they're not going to be able to. eUnited had their exit point, and they team fired very well together. And maybe it could have been avoided, maybe it couldn't, but the truth is, eUnited, that's 2 rounds in a row, Toby. They still have a very real fighting chance to win this.
And their shotguns are on point. Powerz as well, 1-5, mind you, right at the bottom. Certainly not that star player of eUnited leading the way as it stands. Likewise, RushieZ doing a great job over by the Torpo in that 1v position, continuing to do so and lean into that. But coming back to the middle now, eUnited such a big threat there. Oh, hello, RushieZ, the aggression clear as day. They're going to turn to the side and try and double up on a certain player. DeTox getting taken down though. Dyslexic, I love this. Running away as fast as he can to make sure he does not fall, to make sure the number situation does not change. eUnited should see the round out as a result.
And that's a fantastic point, Toby. The fact that Dyslexic doesn't drop, now you have that mental advantage. That's a 4v3, but more importantly, you have Dyslexic still on the map. And what a playmaker he can be. Avexys almost biting off more than he can chew. And eUnited doing a wonderful job, though, handling or at least splitting up. A bit of a rope-a-dope, and Avexys stays alive. I can't believe it. What a shot! Avexys making it happen. Demise falls, and now we're stalemated once again in a 2v2. But the fact that Avexys makes that happen is incredible.
I know. eUnited just needed to give him a little bit of an opportunity. Just the number situation down this corridor. And he took advantage. RushieZ with a Torpo 3v3 situation for RushieZ. As he goes left, great bouncing. Good bouncing into the wall. Oh! Fantastic shots. He will back off, but his teammate is down to his right. But he has reinforcements. 2v1. There is IT just on time. Sniper man for Powerz. A body check will not be what he needed. In fact, he might use the shock. He might use the damage to try and create a situation for himself. No, he's going to be blocked off himself. Snipe time. Can he clutch this time?
Oh my lord. I am blown away by the movement of RushieZ, the playmaking ability of Avexys, but also the fact that Powerz is still alive. Like, come on. And he has the snipe to boot. Still winnable from Powerz' perspective. And that overtime hill is going to be menacing for anybody who wants to hop into it early on. Powerz, I like it. Reposition.
He tried to bait, didn't he? He tried
to bait it.
Corner. Yeah,
wow.
He paused in the corner just to make that fire away and dodge it. But no, didn't work out. RushieZ confident as ever. That was brilliant. But look at the X-ray vision a little bit. Look at
watch his stutter step. Watch his stutter step as he...
It's incredible.
Dude, I'm Toby, there was just so many freaking amazing moments in that round.
Even before that, why is it a 2v2 when eUnited have the numbers advantage?
I agree.
They have a snipe.
I agree.
Why is that even a possibility before even all that happened?
Why does Avexys get out in a 1v2? You know?
Literally, eUnited punishing themselves again. It's their mistakes. It's their mistakes that allowed RushieZ to get back into that game.
Nice shot from Powerz, brings it to a 3v3, follows it up potentially with a shot on Icy, misses. Oh, and DeTox. Ooh. From the perspective of Powerz, we see Dyslexic Head just absolutely roll away. Now it's a 3v2, and with RushieZ 1 round away, they can lead 2-0 in the series. They just have to get through TJ and Powerz.
They can take their time, can RushieZ. Especially when Powerz continues to have power weapons on this map. Torpo this time round, not a snipe. DeTox has to be careful he doesn't have a 1v across the way, across the long sight lines that only snipes DeTox can have. Frags onto DeTox, that's pushing forward. TJ, body checked. That's going to ensure he won't be falling to TJ's push there. 3v1 for them to clean this map up.
Right. 3v1, Powerz again in a must-clutch situation. Shock. I mean, if anybody can do it, it's him. If anybody can do it, it's him. He's angry. And unfortunately, he's not going to be able to. But I'm telling you, it doesn't matter. If Powerz looks like he's in an impossible situation, Toby, there's always an inkling that maybe, just maybe, he can do it. Unfortunately for him, he doesn't. and RushieZ takes a 2-0 lead. And I mean, I am blown away by not this last round, not round number, not round number 9, but round number 8. I could replay that whole round in its entirety and still be shocked at what I find.
Yeah, you and me both. I feel like just a broken record at this point, you know, just the basic, you know, concerns and mistakes. And Tomb is actually a common map to see these number situations play out this way. It's kind of deceiving in many ways, especially in those corners, how quick you can get from one end of the map to the other. When you throw Tortbow and a snipe in the mix and the height advantage at times, players think they can just protect other people from across the map and be there very quickly. But because of those long corridors like RushieZ was in, you're not going to get an angle with a snipe anywhere on the map unless you're on that end. And so when Powerz is lurking, you know, well over the other side, looking at potential shots or whatever it might be, there's a 2v2 situation for an extended period of time for Avexys and RushieZ to take advantage of. And they did. Not taking it away from them. They played extremely well. Stunning, in fact. And the backwards bouncing from RushieZ, akin to previous games like UE and the wall slides. Avexys was awesome. Yeah, absolutely insane. But that shouldn't be allowed to happen in the first place. You should be nowhere near the Tortbow and everyone else pushing up that close. Everyone should be there, if anything. So, yeah, disappointing in many ways for eUnited, but good job.
Well, RushieZ is up 2-0, Toby, and they're looking incredible. Vasgar is going to be a true challenge, and we have a lot to break down for that one. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, Vasgar Map 3 coming your way. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Emergence Day Split for Week 2. I'm Taylor Reflections. No, what? Joined by Toby Campbell. RushieZ is up 2-0. And eUnited, they need to come back. And what a map they have to come back on, which is going to be on Vasgar. One that was hotly contested. Ended up 5-4, went to a round 9. Matter of fact, I remember exactly how that went. And I'll talk about that when we do get to the discussion on Vasgar more specifically. But Toby, I want to break down maps 1 and map 2, where RushieZ, did take advantage and took the 2-0 lead.
I think we have to mention consistency at this point as a word. RushieZ remained consistent throughout District despite the hardships they went through, despite eUnited literally pinning them back into spawns, and they were there mentally to take advantage of situations like that. Speaking of mental, RushieZ literally held his Tortbow there, knowing Powerz is literally stuck on that corner or baiting, and will, not be too quick to fire. And it's just kind of an image, a representation, I guess, where the headspace of RushieZ is right now. They see the threat in front of them. They've seen the really big opportunities that eUnited have had to close things out. I mean, just looking at that image alone just shows that, 300 to 298. But they're well poised. They're reacting well. They're taking advantage of said opportunities when basic mistakes, glaring ones do present themselves, as they did in the highlights. We've already talked about that with RushieZ and Avexys pushing through with that 2v2.
Well, let's get into it already. Map number 3. These boys, they want to keep the ball rolling, and I think RushieZ does more than anything. They don't want eUnited to be able to regain any type of composure, but eUnited's going to be just fine. I'm sure of it anyways, and I know this fight is breaking out, and RushieZ, they're looking incredible, and this could be a very quick round, but I want to go back to what made RushieZ. I don't even care. Never mind, because this round is over with. And what happened against KCP might not even apply here, especially after seeing what I just saw against in that initial.
Seems like RushieZ have just got the energy going for them now, rather than eUnited that we thought at the start of District. TJ and Demise do whip that A control back to their side, mind you, but damage done, at least in some sense, was just a 60-point lead in favor of RushieZ. eUnited flying through, stuns are being made upon. Flashes over the top, Avexys is found. Very nicely done from eUnited, taking advantage of the number situation. They've got the B hill back, and despite that score lead I was talking about, there is plenty of time for eUnited to get back into this one.
Plenty of time indeed. Plenty of time indeed. And it's really amazing that eUnited is this far already in it. Like, the regain is that insane. I'm really impressed. RushieZ goes from being on the cusp of a domination to eUnited with the win condition, from what I can tell anyways. RushieZ has to recover, and they're looking to do so onto A. Demise, though, big opening kill onto RushieZ. The other two will fall, and Icy last alive. And you know what? Maybe I wasn't premature in wanting to bring up what took place during that KCP round. We mentioned the energy. That was a real thing off the initial, but RushieZ is now falling behind, and a domination might tick through. Actually, IC will save the game. But, I mean, where did RushieZ fall short against KCP, now that it seems like it is a viable kind of talking point?
I think they should have just leaned heavily on their strengths much earlier and gone for what we like to talk about as casters is weapon placements and varying the strategies up. I've said it so many times tonight. RushieZ are really good at doing that. And KCP, as far as I'm concerned, Vasgar is their map. They are the better at baseline team on this map in general when playing as their average usual selves. They do slip up at times, but certainly that. eUnited, mind you, have to pay attention. The shotgun from Powerz gets the one down, doesn't get anything more though. eUnited have the score lead.
Yes, they do. eUnited have the score lead. RushieZ head down, straight into C. He's going to take a lot of damage. He knows this. Best case scenario gets the decap, which does tick through, but now you need to get onto A. And I hate to say it, RushieZ fans, nobody is getting to A from RushieZ. This is going to be an eUnited round. And what a round that was. The fact that they went on, again, we're on the cusp of losing to now officially winning round one. It's a pretty spectacular turnaround.
The beauty of Escalation, that first round, right? I mean, I genuinely was with you. I thought it was over. Before we even got to player cams, the ghost cam was showing an absolute murder over towards the helicopter side of the map, and it was all for RushieZ taking eUnited. But they do respond, and they do fly across the map with a quick recovery, as mentioned, over by the tank in particular. DeTox being placed down, so nothing crazy, of course, weapon placement-wise this early on. Wouldn't expect it whatsoever. But definitely something to consider going forward. At baseline, we'll talk about that again, I guess, strategy. I think RushieZ... Yeah, I would say RushieZ are probably the better Vasgar team than eUnited at baseline. eUnited, what they did at the major was not eUnited. That was, you know, Goku mode. That was Dragon Ball Z, Jedi, dive across the map, somehow spawn on the other side kind of level. It's not their usual baseline. And so, the question is, can eUnited bring some of that energy today against RushieZ? If not, maybe they are the ones who have to consider how they're going to change up their strategy.
Nice shot from RushieZ. Good recovery on their home hill, and now they're going to go ahead and overextend towards C, which is going to be met by Demise. Demise will challenge that of RushieZ. Boltok is going to be great. Once the full cap, well, the decap is going to be all that he can have. It's tough to hold down the enemy's home hill. You know you're dealing with consistent and constant respawn, so you kind of waste as much time as you possibly can over here, put up a wonderful fight, but your real opening is what we see on the bottom of the mini-map, and that's on B. RushieZ is getting what they want, but it's also a two-factor kind of fight. You want to waste as much time so you can gain the neutral back, but you need to have the manpower to defend that aggressive push over to your own home hill, and eUnited, they successfully get over.
That's it. Well said. Dyslexic, good job from him. Running as early as possible to guarantee he will not get down. Make sure there's no threat there. DeTox, though, he can try to take advantage of the said damage. Instead, TJ's right there with Dyslexic. Great back A onto Avexys. That's 2 down now, and eUnited can start sprinting. eUnited on the flank. This is building up into a great triple cap scenario for eUnited. Set piece even, as everyone is timing this perfectly. I see. Great movement. 5 seconds of the clock. Can Avexys even reach it in time? The meat shield block will be utilized. Not going to be enough for now. RushieZ are here, and they will survive as well, just as eUnited did earlier.
Surviving, will they thrive? We'll find out. 3 down, that's definitely going to be the start, or at least the turnaround point RushieZ desperately needed. They'll once again try to bully their way onto B. Demise is going to be the guy to try and hold it down for eUnited, but he's going to be short-lived. And RushieZ makes a better decision this time around. They back away before over-aggressing themselves onto Charlie, and now they can stop or at least better stop the push of eUnited as they go to regain the 2-to-1 hill advantage in their favor. One loose end that they might have to tie up, however, is rotate RushieZ over to help player number 6 of Icy. He's going to have to make a decision quickly, and no, he's not going to. It's going to be a 1v2 in Icy. He's forced to try and clutch up.
Yeah, I mean, back to the point of trying to run early as possible. Icy was certainly not going to get out of there alive, being stuck on that wall, and tried to get out before those two catch up with him. A-hill broken, C-hill changing, hands also. Advantage eUnited. And just check this clock on our screen. 10 seconds now for them to close this one out.
10 seconds. It's going to come very quickly. eUnited, they know they've got the W, and player 6 Icy. I don't think he's going to get there in time onto B. Nope, not there in time, unfortunately. Good effort, however. And it just really seems to me, RushieZ, they're not disseminating their numbers as they should be. They're making decent pushes. They have the right idea in mind, but they're not reinforcing against a counter push of eUnited.
And that's exactly what eUnited are great at, is those responses, is those flying at your literal spawn kind of level pushes. They're so good at that. And that's kind of the intensity that eUnited really leverage, right? Sometimes it backfires because it comes across as disorganization. It's a bit too chaotic and too easy to read. But RushieZ, you know, they struggle a bit more with that sense. So they're good with the defense. And if they can't defend against eUnited when they do that, then they better be able to perform in just the same situations as eUnited. Maybe they don't have that flair at those crucial moments. And that was shown just there in that moment.
eUnited's easily going to get onto B early on. Of course, they'll opt to just push right through. You have to establish the kills early on, or else RushieZ will have an easy counter push, and then you're going to find yourself into some trouble. Dyslexic and RushieZ are going to be stalemated between A and C. They might pop off soon. I think it's going to be Dyslexic who's being the aggressor. RushieZ is going to go in and back away. He dies. So this puts RushieZ in a relatively tough spot because eUnited now have potentially free reign to get onto C. RushieZ needs to be careful here, Toby, or else they could be looking down the barrel of a domination.
It's so true. Icy back against the wall with DeTox. Powerz just chooses to steal a Talon, run off with a nice cheeky Talon. Okay, fair enough. Almost unlike eUnited in many ways, just dip out of the fight that deep into the enemy half. But, you know, they rely on B. They have the call out. A is going to be lost. Let's make sure we do not get triple capped in this situation. So, fair play. Here comes the RushieZ response as they try and flood in now, eUnited style. They do find TJ. Some shots from Powerz will lighten up the forces in front, but he is outgunned, he is outnumbered. And look at RushieZ just holding each other's hands. Yeah. Classic gameplay from them. They know who they're up against, and it's Icy and RushieZ, old school vets. They will not throw away a silly push where they get 1v2'd by him.
All right, so RushieZ, they have the advantage for a short period. C is already going to be decapped, at least it looks like it to me. And this is where RushieZ has been traditionally struggling. How do they react to what eUnited is doing? And it doesn't seem like the reaction has ever been a good one. And even in this case, RushieZ is now looking stronger than ever. They're able to slowly close that vice grip onto last player, player 6 Icy, who's going to be on B. Player 4 can easily hop over cover. He's going to go for the decap and full cap. The others will then worry about cleaning up Icy. TJ, he's going to hide in the shadows to catch the DeTox off guard, which doesn't happen, mind you. So RushieZ will survive, but eUnited, I mean, they definitely have a lot of real estate on the map. One key takeaway, though, Powerz is going to be in a pretty tough spot. He's got to hold his ground with the retro.
And he is threatening with that weapon. Have to bring it up. Just some great accurate shots from him. At this A hill. Could be all she wrote. TJ, though, blown away by DeTox, who's had an excellent spawn so far here on Vasgar, but trapped in a corner. Powerz holding his ground, keeping him there. Retro will certainly keep Avexys from pushing on forward. Score situation. Pretty level between the two. A hill changing hands suddenly towards eUnited, and that should be them guaranteeing this round. It could be 3-0 up right now for eUnited.
Definitely could be. Definitely could be, and it is going to be eUnited successfully winning this round up 3-0. And like you said, they could very well have been up 2-1, but after this map anyways, we know how map 1 ended up going. RushieZ is in the same situation they were against KCP, but I'm curious if it's going to be exactly the same, where we see a sniper on tank, or if we see, more importantly, the big comeback we saw RushieZ implement against KCP. That would be something special.
It would. It certainly would. Now, I'm just wondering if RushieZ are going to do anything different. They've been known, despite, not placing any weapons or anything, to still change their strategy up when they're losing on Vasgar. They have been one of those teams rather than just continually headbutting. And they do have that flexibility given their players on their roster. They don't have INZEM, so they might have less flexibility to access their most recent strat book developments. But here we are Instead, they are kind of matching eUnited in this sense. 3 on this side. Here's the 1v though. Dyslexic versus RushieZ. RushieZ wins that, and that is the flexibility on hand. RushieZ is so dominant on that side. It relieves some pressure from that big team fight over by B, which eUnited in many ways have the advantage in, given honestly the raw caliber of players they have in that close area.
Right. If RushieZ can't hold on to what they got now, I don't know if they can hold on in general, man.
RushieZ can't stay there on his own forever. That's safe to say.
No, he can't.
Has the initial. He has that perfect, like almost like execution style showdown where he can outplay. You can't 1v2 people consistently at this level. It's not a strategy. So he's going to delay. He's going to delay. He's going to go back. He's going to use the bolt up. But eventually, eUnited will get there. There's the reinforcements. Avexys has rotated in time. Question is, has that changed the situation on the B hill in a way that benefits eUnited? No, it hasn't. We've got the straight 2v2 with advantage RushieZ in terms of the objective.
All right, RushieZ, can you hold on tight? You only got 2 members who's here from eUnited. Ooh, nice kill from IC. That pretty, well, doesn't shut it down because, of course, on the opposite side, you have a playmaker, and his name is Demise. So Demise can very well push up onto B and impede his will. IC not taking a bait. You see, Demise was ready for the push, but no, IC's like, no, I might as well chill. But don't chill too long, because now you got TJ's going to be on your flank. IC, you got to get out of there, brother.
Yeah, I mean, early as possible as well, ideally, because it would have been a 2v2. And the comms knew exactly that was what was going to play out. So, domination coming through. Demise gets the nice kill. Avexys trying to save the day on the B. He has to get in there, though, and has to run into a shotgun as a result. And RushieZ just misrolling straight into his gun at the end when he had the time to do what? Take his time. Not do anything too brash or panicked. And, well, that was not ideal in the end. A simple 1v RushieZ could have had that, and it's heartbreaking because, again, I was just alluding to the fact that he's incredible in those strict 1v1 situations, but not to be. I guess the point really is the fact that RushieZ could have continued to make that passive, but IC got caught out despite knowing, both on the TACCOM when he was head-to-head, and also the comms from his teammate that, hey, I'm going to be there in a second. That will guarantee that their opponent will have the same. So why have we got our backs to a Lancer position ready? You know?
Valid points. Valid points. eUnited have poured up. It's just the way it is. It's 4-0. RushieZ has yet to get anything going. They're not responding to what eUnited is doing at all. They're really not. And even when they try to, eUnited handles them with ease. That was a violent death from our perspective, and that's because IC throws out an INZEM to catch TJ. And RushieZ once again will start off with the 2-to-1 hill advantage. Dyslexic be by himself. Gonna make a play. DeTox knows. Well done from DeTox to see him. Understand there's gonna be a player in the corner and hold on tight. They need to get to E as quickly as possible, and they're going to.
Avexys on hand. Some solid bolt on. Oh, is he really challenging this? My oh my, confidence in his teammate to get there in time. He has to jump up and mantle. That wasn't enough damage to warrant pushing the 3. Not at all. He'll drop immediately, as will his teammate, while trying to save him. I see. Is he going to get chased? No. Not into the enemy spawn. eUnited will actually draw a line there. And the D hill has 3, make that 4 eUnited players on right now.
Big fight. Look at this. Who's going to end up taking it? I see a nice shot onto Dyslexic, but eUnited is starting to make some headway. Big headway. Just like that. It was 3 members from RushieZ. They were looking strong. They were poised and ready to take the fight against the wall of eUnited members. And then within a second, 3 members are dead on RushieZ, leaving DeTox last alive. And eUnited threatening the triple cap only for a short period of time, but more importantly, just like the other 4 rounds, Toby, it's the same story over and over again. eUnited with the objective and eUnited with the point lead.
Pretty sure that was a secret man from TJ right at the bottom of the staircase there. That is insane when the railings are just transparent like that. Nuts. I think you'd see just your peripheral vision and like with a pan down camera, but nonetheless, not too much of a score lead for eUnited, has to be said, but the thing they are winning on and dominating through is just numbers. They're chasing numbers above objectives, and it's working so well for them. IC does get a kill back versus TJ. Demise is here, has reinforcements for RushieZ, has been able to get 1 kill, but he can't take the world on. D-Hill going back towards eUnited, and now the score lead is not looking too healthy for RushieZ. eUnited have options now.
They have options, and that's scary to say, isn't it? Especially with them having a 4-0 lead, and eUnited already, or still has options to win this this map. In general, 5-0. Yeah, RushieZ is in a very, very difficult position. Demise, big 1v1 on the opposite side. RushieZ pushes in. RushieZ is going for the decap, and RushieZ won't. Actually, RushieZ does get the decap just in the nick of time, but eUnited, they recover, and they will win Vasgar 5-0. I figured today, after watching RushieZ play against KCP on Vasgar, Toby, I was like, I don't think this is going to be as easy as it was last week. But, I mean, 5-0, I didn't expect it to be that. Talk about coming back and gaining your momentum, most importantly, and that's what eUnited does.
Prove me wrong, that's for sure. I've really fancied RushieZ actually going into this one. But eUnited, I guess they stuck to their strengths. And a flat RushieZ turning up for that one was the cost in the end, I guess. They certainly weren't at the usual strength. They weren't doing the great with the team fights. I called out a number of potential mistakes. I don't have all the information in the world, but from what I can assume, examples like getting taken down and lanced and not running early enough, getting 2v1 when eUnited are going to straight line you as soon as they appear. Those kind of things, I think cost RushieZ in a lot of those situations in eUnited because they're so slay heavy and actually, capitalizing on that and doing well on Vasgar, they will convert into triple caps, into quick rounds, regardless of where you might be positioned. What else didn't we see, Taylor? Weapon placements. It was just standard from RushieZ from the get-go.
That's right.
Of all situations, of all matches, this is the one you place weapons, especially against eUnited. What they're doing, how they're playing, weapon placements are going to break that up immediately.
Right.
It has to. When you're playing at so much speed, it means you have to change direction as fast as you possibly can, in a proverbial sense, to make sure you can still be on target.
That's right.
And unfortunately, RushieZ didn't take advantage of that and at least get all their options out.
So I said at the beginning, and I apologize for not bringing this up, but obviously didn't amount to much to the storyline. But last week when they played on Vasgar, I did say it went to a round 9 and RushieZ won it. And I do remember the scoreline at one point. It was 4-1. eUnited had a 4-1 lead. And RushieZ came back and won in round 9. It was a miraculous comeback. It was incredible to behold. But we don't get so lucky here. And I like that because eUnited shuts RushieZ down as they should have, like 100%. eUnited kept that momentum up, and they ended up taking them down as they should have. And that is a look. You win Escalation, it's normally a turning point in a series for your roster. But if you win Escalation and you win it 5-0 in the way that you did it, you made RushieZ look silly. That's honestly what happened. Man, you want to talk about momentum heading into map number 4, which in this case is going to be Ritual. eUnited could very well send us to a map 5, and I think they could.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to come out swinging on the gates on Escalation Vasgar, 2-0 down after the way in which they lost, then certainly they're going to be fine going into Ritual. Definitely mentally, they were fine there, right? On Vasgar, just qualitatively speaking, from the get-go, regardless of round count, they were looking hot, and I think they're going to play in the exact same way going into map number 4, and probably play in a way like they did on District, but hopefully without the basic mistakes. Hopefully you have the early rotations in there to coincide with the attempts and spawn traps, and they don't get too ahead of themselves because RushieZ is certainly still here to play, and they did a not so great job on Vasgar, that's for sure. But you can be certain that RushieZ are at least going to mentally get back into this as they did with what we saw. Control District map number 1. Yeah.
We're going to have to see how Ritual's going to play out. I think Powerz, he's probably about to have another pop-off game like he did on District, despite losing 300 to 298. And RushieZ is going to have, I think, a bit more difficult of a time dealing with Powerz and maybe him popping off than they did on District. But let's break it down. What's the differences between District and Ritual? And I very rarely ask that question, but here, the reason why I ask is because it was so close on District. Is there anything that might pay in the favor of eUnited this time around?
Yeah, we usually talk about the similarities between District and Ritual, and I think they are quite similar in that sense. They're grouped together, Regency is grouped outside of that. But in terms of just the similarities in general, we know Initial is huge on Ritual indeed. Perhaps more so. It kind of edges out District in many ways. You get the torp bow straight from the spot, but with District, you also get the drop shot from the get-go in the middle. Which, if you can do a clean sweep, that could be very good. Gives you access to map control and whatnot. But with Ritual, instead of having those, green and blue, as I call them, or juice and info rooms to leverage and push through, in Ritual, it's a little bit more clear cut. You have some secret man locations, but you have loads of covers that you can pinball bounce through. You can use to weave in and out of certain rotations across, different teams. You have the visuals as well, which often clearly benefits eUnited in many ways because they can see where the next target is and they're like just quickly working it out in their head. How can I get to there as fast as I possibly can without dying? And it really favors them in that sense. I think, generally speaking, the pacing is what works out for eUnited. And I think when you really boil it down, is that District's hills are a bit easier to defend than Rituals.
Oh.
So it allows eUnited to sneak through those hardcore defenses where you have the full formation across the width of the map.
Okay.
You have the short spawns locked down. I think Ritual can be like, you know what, that's cool, and maybe Regency, that's a huge problem. We're just going to walk through you nonetheless.
Did Casa de Papel beat eUnited on Ritual Map 1? I think they did, right? They did. They had a 2-0 lead.
3-2, wasn't it? To eUnited in the end.
Yeah. So eUnited has suffered a loss on Ritual tonight, as good as they are, but the energy is very different this time around. And you mentioned the energy being different, heading into Vasgar, and I agree with that. Great opening start for RushieZ. You lose 5-0 on Vasgar. You start off on the favorite map of eUnited, and you dominate them in that way. I think this is going to be a close map now.
And it was almost too quick to break down. It was just a clean sweep of kills. No one losing their life in the process. This is what I was talking about before. You get the advantage in that the torp bow comes through into your hands. You get the double, just as RushieZ did there. What is he doing? He's stretching out across as well, blocking, or at least setting up for the next hill. But eUnited, despite what it was a fantastic start from RushieZ, they do exactly what I was describing earlier. Just run through the middle, get kills out of nowhere, and then immediately they're onto the hill.
All right. RushieZ, what you gonna do? You got 2 more bolts remaining. You got eUnited, who's for sure gonna be rotating into you. You 100% know either Dyslexic or on the opposite side of the cover, which is Powerz, they're gonna push into you. But are you ready to hit the shot that is very much so needed? And eUnited should be very aware he's there. Demise most likely has cleared that angle, especially if he's been focused on DeTox. But either way, RushieZ looks to make a move. He knows the numbers from eUnited are rotating. He's looking to thread the needle. He won't be able to, just a bit shy, hitting the cover. Potentially getting onto a flank of Powerz, and Powerz doesn't see it coming. Powerz should die here, but no! He almost gets away with it, but RushieZ, he will get it in the end.
Good job, RushieZ, but now he's quite a ways away, isn't he, from that hill, so he can't help too much, but now he has come back and been able to get a stick in the process. Somehow Icy is still alive, so RushieZ can pick up the pieces somewhat. 2v1 situation now remaining, but there is reinforcements just as TJ's left. He's bought enough time. Great push from RushieZ around the outside. 2v1. A little bit of help as well. Powerz is here. Great shot onto RushieZ. Icy clutching up, arguably though. Finds one, but out of time. As things do break down, it's a little bit of a chaos fight there. Avexys late to the party, just going to get shot down and miss completely the spawn with his teammates on short. Staggered, eUnited with the advantage, and don't blame Icy at all for grabbing the torp bow, but 40 seconds left. Questions have to be asked as to what your next target is.
Curious if RushieZ puts a lot of emphasis in the torp bow, or if they are confidently pushing up. I think with that opening kill on TJ, they are going to just impin their will. The torp bow will create a little bit of chaos, and eUnited will effectively get wiped out. It's honestly a very quick and impressive break from RushieZ's perspective.
It is actually. I think what plays into that though as well is eUnited have the position for the next hill, and as a result, their defense wasn't as, set up in stone, if you will, as though everything rests on whether they keep that hill and lose, or rather defeat them on that team fight. They've got a great spawn for the next one. TJ just checking those corners to see actually what is the lay of the land. Is anyone hiding? What cover can we gain? Dyslexic is doing the same thing. See if you can gain some ground and some cover advantage for the soon-to-be fight. Look at this angle from Icy, just trying to... He can find that one stick to open the door at the front. DeTox leading the way. Great stick. There it comes through. 4v2. Icy can stay alive. He can block this short spawn. That's all he needs to do, because the numbers are clearly in their favor now.
Oh, yeah.
And they just need to clean up the last kill. There it is. 60 seconds left for RushieZ. Awesome job.
Yeah, incredible job. And I see a large reason for that success. Dyslexic, he's not going to get challenged, but he also can't challenge himself unless, obviously, RushieZ just decides to push up onto him. But he's got to wait for his eUnited members to help him and assist him. This needed to happen, though. RushieZ needed to get Dyslexic out of there. No reason to allow him to sit there rent-free while he waits for his reinforcements to come. That's one less player that you're going to deal with. You knew it was going to be a 3v1. Get him out of the way. Powerz, nice job taking down RushieZ. I think this is the fight for at least the back end of things. And the fact that DeTox pushes out so far is a good idea. In the idea, but unfortunately wasn't executed properly. And eUnited, they are going to have the hill, but I mean, only scrap time remains.
Yeah, a bit like deja vu from RushieZ on the last hill, right? The concern for eUnited now is, have they outpositioned themselves by going all in on this last attack? They're not at the torpo, right? They're not ready to pick that up. In fact, the RushieZ member might be positioned for that when it does come. Meanwhile, the rest of the team of RushieZ, they're very happily pushing through their positioning now. They've got nades. Powerz might be the one to disrupt that a little bit. RushieZ overextended here in the truest sense of the word, in the negative sense. Why are they this far when the hill is behind them? Avexys has absolutely cornered himself here, right into the hands of eUnited where they're spawning. They have nades, they have everything going for them, and now they've given themselves a numbers disadvantage potentially going into this one. And Icy, yeah, might as well back off and lose the cover advantage they had.
Nade in hand for Icy. Does he throw it through the smoke? Might not be a bad play. He'll send one flying through mid, try to maybe catch someone off of a rotation, but he's going to end up dropping, and the nades don't connect onto anyone. And more importantly, Powerz feels confident to push up onto Icy and Avexys, who were in that cover, and therefore control the hill definitively. RushieZ desperately tries to get away. He can't. DeTox is shut down before he can even get started. That was a dominant force of eUnited, or at least a dominant showing of eUnited's presence in this current hill, and they're not backing down to the point where RushieZ, they're giving it up completely.
Yeah, they have to. Yeah, they absolutely have to at this point. Great job from eUnited. Score lead now in their favor. RushieZ rotated early, and they found Powerz in the corner. A little bit of oppression from Dyslexic on the side, but look at the Lancers from RushieZ. They're quickly moving around the flank to try and get that pinch, and those downs to continue the stagger, continue the kills into this next hill. TJForce might be able to help though. Great stick. DeTox is lurking to try and get the flank. eUnited though, 3 players close by in the middle. DeTox pinched. Now this could be problematic for RushieZ.
All right, TJ. Are you going to commit for it? You are. There's the utility. Icy, he's forced to back away. So is RushieZ. RushieZ can't get the... Oh, watch out, though. Avexys comes absolutely out of nowhere, picking up 2. The blind side, the off angle, paying dividends, but an aggressive push. It's going to be his undoing. Powerz ends up getting a great stick onto Avexys. Folks stitched on the back. That's now 2 for 2. And RushieZ can easily be dealt with. That was almost a devastating impact that Avexys made, and he did to a certain degree, but Powerz, with his great sticks, had a bigger impact.
Stepping up when he needs to, right? Great response. Powerz is that. This is his home ground ritual. And he had the torque bow. Boy, did he put it to use. Looking for RushieZ. Great job. Nowhere near his gun. That is guaranteed Powerz gameplay for us here in front in this grand final. Not sure why he did that, though. That was a very overt play, going for the big up A. But saying that, 20 seconds left, so not too concerning. Question is, what about that next hill? Where is he spawning? Icy, big 1v in the center. This is the stagger situation that's going to lead into things potentially. No, Dyslexic will get caught out too. Nades, a kill for Avexys. And this is actually looking a lot better now for RushieZ.
Looking a ton better. Demise has been slippery. He's been good. He's been solid. Avexys will handle him. Well done. Now they have clear reign to just pursue the next hill, which eUnited is already mounting a push. And it's going to be a 3-man push into the 3 of RushieZ currently set up defensively. RushieZ will join into the mix. Player 8 Demise will also be fight in middle, which, speaking of which, RushieZ has to be careful here. Demise might very well try to blindside him. Meanwhile, inside the hill, RushieZ has real estate. Powerz, though, isn't far behind, and in fact is close enough to go ahead and dispute the hill. But either way, who is going to make the first move. And it looks like it's going to be eUnited. DeTox tries everything in his power to maybe even things up, but it's not going to happen. eUnited's slaying power once again coming to the forefront and overpowering RushieZ.
RushieZ trying to move first into that spawn to see if he can gain some ground, but no, eUnited do cut him off immediately. Dyslexic just in the front, DeTox trying to go for the pinch around the back. Bit of utility could help. RushieZ, big 1v. Great shots, but he needs to hit the final one. He does. 2 shots, and that's the down of Powerz. Meanwhile, the rest of his team do fall by the wayside. And he hasn't got many options now. He is essentially trapped. They know he's here somewhere. Good shot from RushieZ, trying to push before the cavalry arrive, and that's perfect from him. Well done indeed. Him just being in the back corner means there is a pure access point for RushieZ at the front. They have to deal with RushieZ whether they like it or not. But there's only 20 seconds left, but eUnited are finding the kills nonetheless. Icy will fall, only Avexys left alive now.
All right. It's getting out of hand. eUnited, they need to wake up. MT Wu was actually in chat saying, hey, RushieZ, you need to wake up. And I thought his at least voice was heard. That was when RushieZ ended up, I think, getting a series of kills, like four-piece or whatever is collectively as a team. But it seems like eUnited, they are well on their way to victory. Again, here I am saying that just like I did on District a little bit earlier before RushieZ ended up coming back. But in the here and now, RushieZ are in control of the hill. And this is a fresh hill, so a very good opportunity for RushieZ to effectively catch back up.
This is kind of the reset they need at this point, Taylor. They need just a strong hill from the get-go, and now they can return to the usual selves. They can make sure they dial it in. They can have the lancers there. They can make sure no power weapons are kind of influencing things. RushieZ, careful to stay alive in this corner. Dyslexic pushing hard. Great shot hold from RushieZ. The give comes through. There's still points to go for a difference between eUnited and RushieZ now for them to catch up. Great shots coming out from all of them, though. And it's a straight team wipe, essentially. 40 seconds left on this one. And hopefully, for their sake, they get a nice rotation here early on, similar to the start of the map. And look at this, they are. Right, going the eUnited route. Definitely going for the spawn trap. Rotating early, happens to be on the next hill. I love this, Taylor.
Yeah, that was flawless, wasn't it, Toby? Well done from RushieZ. They're within striking distance of catching up to eUnited. They've got the fresh torque bow. They have the tools needed to be successful. One thing that I love about top 5 teams when they play against each other is there's always a battle of attrition and a power battle in general, a struggle to hold on to the power and a struggle to gain that power back. But once power is definitively gained back, you can really tell and see the momentum shift. And RushieZ just had a little momentum shift in their power just a little bit earlier. And even now that they are the first ones definitively on the hill and eUnited is respecting the torque bow as they should, you can definitely see RushieZ are feeling a lot more comfortable than they even were just a minute and a half ago.
Couldn't agree more. Oh, RushieZ went for the up A. A little bit of a movement change, if you will, positional change will help Powerz, but not for long. As RushieZ certainly looking at a potential end of the series here in Ritual now. They are close in terms of score, thanks to their efforts. TJ will have to continue chasing the Avexys as soon as he can. That stick will not come on through. It means United can continue whittling away at the defense of RushieZ. They have the numbers to do so.
Big moment for eUnited. They've got to pounce back. They need to grab that power back. Have they effectively done it? Yes, they have, at least for a short period of time. Scrap time will go their way, but more importantly, Toby, they will regain the point lead that they lost for the first time in a long time against this RushieZ roster. And now it's a mad dash for the new hill. It's going to be coming up very shortly. But who's going to have the advantage once we get there?
They started the chase early. Powerz is looking for the Secret Man. He realizes now he has to help his teammates as RushieZ have changed the pace up a little bit. They're being a bit aggressive. They're being a bit more like eUnited, straight up into the hearts of their enemies. Powerz will find Avexys, though, as he was caught out with just the Lancer. And Icy will find Powerz, but unfortunately for RushieZ, they've left the short spawn completely empty, and they have to be super careful now. RushieZ has got the angle, though, a saving grace. Lovely shots being put out from him. DeTox as well, the double stick, I believe. In fact, that was his Nasher, I want to say. And yeah, nonetheless, look at the top left. RushieZ do take the lead.
And this is a hill to take the lead on. Like, this is a massive hill. It's so difficult to break, compounded with the idea that you also have a torque bow. Player 6 waiting behind. He's willing to give up that added time over to RushieZ with the intention of using these nades to their fullest extent. These nades will be great. But have you noticed that RushieZ kind of breaks out of the hill to kind of, you know, maybe negate the fact that those nades are going to be coming into play relatively soon? But all eyes on DeTox. Big shot on Powerz. Even followed up with snub shots, but it wasn't enough. Headway has been made. eUnited have retaken the hill, and we might have another point change.
Breaking up the forces so fast, wasn't it, from eUnited? DeTox caught out just a little bit too far ahead. Likewise, the RushieZ players were spread out too thin. Arguably, when eUnited can fly on through almost as individuals fighting their own 1vs there. Great job, RushieZ quickly turning towards the rest of the battlefield. They know they have to start rotating early. They need to leverage any situation they can now to help with this push from eUnited on this side.
Ooh, I like it. This is getting tense. This is getting tense for sure, Toby. Next hill is right there, daunting and taunting all the members on the map, and eUnited will be the first ones inside of it, and they retake the point lead once again by just 1 point. Make that a couple more. They start stringing together a bigger and bigger lead. RushieZ might have 1 foot in the grave.
Control is going to be a close one again. In fact, it already is. 20 seconds left, and they can win off this hill. It can be a difficult one to push as well. Right being at the center, torque bow. This has to be utilized ASAP. There's literally 10 seconds. Avexys probably shouldn't even been waiting for this in the first place. DeTox has been taken down. Avexys has realized his mistakes. He's trying to run across and look for the sticks as soon as he can. Icy on his own, moving, just trying to stay alive at this point and stay in the hill at the same time.
Oh, no, you don't.
Right, Icy,
RushieZ?
can you do it? Oh, they're doing it. They broke it. They broke it. Yo, Toby.
No way.
Repeat of District? Are we going to see
no
it?
way. RushieZ was literally on the flank saving the day there, having his own 1vs while everything else was going on, and Icy buying enough time for Avexys and everyone else. Say DeTox to get over there. Don't know how eUnited have been caught out here. 20 seconds left, even under that for RushieZ. Throw in nades. They can't win off this hill. That's the important thing. eUnited realize it.
That's right. That is right. Well, hey, at a certain point, they couldn't win off of the other hill in District 2 before they had to give it up. We're now down 293 to 296. Avexys will connect onto Powerz. The new hill's going to be in contention relatively soon. eUnited, they are running thin, but they're only 4 points away from victory. But now, so is RushieZ just about, and I think they've done it. They have done it for a second time in Emergence Day's Grand Finals. 300 to 296. And RushieZ will be your champions in back-to-back weeks of Emergence Days Split 4.
Congratulations to them. So well earned, hard earned from RushieZ, and RushieZ the MVP there at the end, and suited for him was that play in the end. The setup for that middle hill push from the back, incredible job from him, and an awesome job from RushieZ. I mean, just think about what we saw on Vasgar. eUnited were looking incredible. They flew through 5-0, right? No problem at all. But then just suddenly we go on to Ritual, and it looks good for eUnited. You know, it really does. They start stringing together plays. We're thinking it's more like District in that sense, where they can just stagger across. The rotations are pretty good, but RushieZ somehow just keeping up there. You know, with a great initial at the start that went straight into that first hill, eUnited were able to upset that. But then it comes towards the end, and they lose it once more in the closing moments due to... I at this point, I still don't know what happened on that middle hill. Where were the eUnited players? Why weren't they together? How is RushieZ able to get a 1v on the back end of on the flank? Even Avexys was nowhere near. Where are the rest of the eUnited players if they're not at torque bow? Why are they in the corners of the map fighting on spawns? I don't understand. Are they again just spreading themselves too thin? Just scattered across the map seeking out 1vs. They're literally about to win.
It's just so wild to see how that ends up unfolding. Same situation as it was on District. So close to victory, yet so far away. District ends 300-298. Ritual ends 300-296. And both of those maps are similar in the fact that RushieZ has to come back. And RushieZ does come back. No one can ever doubt RushieZ's composure. Like, that composure is absolutely unreal. And are they #1 in standings in Pro League at the moment?
Yeah.
Look,
must be, right?
They won another championship. Like, that's just the way it is. And RushieZ isn't going to settle for anything less. To beat eUnited in back-to-back weeks, to do so this week with your official sub of Icy.
What's happening right now? I'm trying to work it out in the highlights. There's two players here of eUnited. Powerz has downed Icy. TJ got taken out on the flank. But that's still two players on my screen. Where are the rest? I don't get it. Did I miss them getting taken out and staggered? Because we really shouldn't have even gone to this last hill, Taylor. You and me both know this. We should never have been there. They had a positional advantage. They had a huge points lead. They were that close within 4 points. It can't be thrown away, things like this. This is preparation for huge days ahead. As if EDAYS wasn't big enough, you've still got that major to come by. You're up against RushieZ of all teams that you lost to in the major. In the grand final. Tighten up.
Well, Affinity came in chat and he said it best. That can't happen after map 1, and I'm sure he would say the same thing about map 4. Let's walk through it, though. eUnited, Casa de Papel went the distance. Casa actually had a 2-0 lead over EU. They had a real chance to close that out, but eUnited ended up coming back. eUnited and Fury 1 also was an incredible tight series. Fury 1 looking better than ever. Can't wait to see how much they're going to continue to improve as time goes along. And also, for Fury 1 beating Northern Forces was also a big victory. RushieZ defeating Rebel 3-0 is a big win, and I believe the second week in a row RushieZ has to face off against Rebel. Last week it was in semifinals. This week it was in round 1, and both times it was a 3-0. So clearly RushieZ has Rebel's number, and for eUnited, a flawless run up until they go into grand finals. So Toby, it's tough to see losses like that, but they're also necessary to suffer. So you learn now, so you can be rewarded later, right? When you hopefully give the gift of knowledge as to what went wrong.
Yeah, I think that's the case. I think, generally speaking, what I was going back to and talking about before the grand final is that eUnited seemed a bit flat at times. They even actually dropped 2 maps to Casa de Papel to start the whole day off, right?
Oh, my bad. They weren't flawless. You're right.
Yeah,
sorry.
We were comparing against RushieZ's run, where they had to go through KCP and, of course, Rebel. And they only dropped a map in the process. Meanwhile, eUnited are dropping 3 maps to lower ranked teams than those two, I would argue. So, yeah, I mean, a weak day for eUnited, in my opinion. I felt extremely critical tonight of them as a result of some of these mistakes. But I think it really goes to show that there's some level of importance here with a lot of these mistakes. And I do like to touch upon it because of the basic nature for me, of the number situations, of the rotations, of the objectives, because they have so much potential. And it's unfortunate to see them throw it away. But with that said, RushieZ, excellent night. What a good night it was for them. Fantastic performance against Pioneers. Thoroughly deserved to get to the grand final. And when they did get to the grand final, boy, did they deal with adversity, starting off with District, of course. We just saw what happened on Ritual as kind of like a rewind to map number 1. And, of course, Tomb and Vasgar had their own storylines, and RushieZ dealt with them each and every step of the way. Their consistency is what's scary at this point now. You might not give them the flair argument that eUnited and KCP have had in the past, but you have the strategy, you have the hard work, you have the passion, and then you have the consistency to back it, really setting themselves up for a great rest of the Pro League and also Major.
Well, a great night. Your first EDAYS, Toby. We're going to get out of here shortly, but of course I have to pass it back to you for your final words.
This is awesome. I mean, this is fantastic. I've seen EDAYS before, of course, as a viewer, but as a caster, to be able to breeze through so many matches, and I do say breeze through because shout out to UMG. You guys are just incredible with the production quality. The amount of work to get all those games transitioning time and time after again. Wow, what a shout out. You thoroughly deserve. It's incredible. And for that round 1 as well, to get through so many matches, I mean, just like without us going to a break. Absolutely, I'm not saying I need a break. I'm saying time flew by because of it. And I was like, wait, it's that time already? And we've got through that many maps as well. Regardless, insane stuff. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Pleasure casting with you as always. And we had some good games tonight. Definitely ones to remember.
We did. Well, Toby, I was happy to have you for episode, I believe, 99. I say episode, it's tournament 99 of Emergence Days. So next one's going to be 100, which is definitely a milestone, not only for UMG, for Gears, but also for myself. I don't think I've ever done anything that had 100 shows in it. So that's pretty cool, and that's going to happen next week. But Toby, to be a part of 99, it was incredible, and you killed it all night as usual and in Pro League, and I know you're going to be back a couple more times this month, I do believe. I have to double check. Don't quote me on that. Really don't, because check the schedule. We need you on those days that you're here. But it's been a great day, Toby. We really appreciate you being here and you and chat being here. Thank you so much. And for Rise, congratulations for the victory. But for myself, Taylor Reflexes Noble, Toby Campbell, our production team, and you and chat, thank you once again for being here. Be back Tuesday on Xbox. Pro League starts up once again, 5 Eastern. We would love to have you.